Yeah. Live for the Silverton Casino, baby. Oh, let me get these group. It's late right now, so we're going to get a lot of people watching tomorrow. But right now, like, East Coast motherfuckers are sleeping on the weekend. Try to tag some motherfuckers. Wake these guys up. Even tagged you, Jeff. Live for the Silverton Casino. What's going on, y'all? Games of the week. Me and Sportsbook Jeff ready to talk to y'all. We're going to give y'all liens. Now, like I said, the liens are not the spreads. The liens is just who we think is going to win the game. So don't get it twisted. If you want the spreads, you check our Friday night video. We give out 6 to 8 games, correct? Right. With the spreads. Usually 8, but sometimes we get 6. So before I start the show, let me give a shout out to Price Tag Entertainment, my man Plu, Dwayne Beeman. I told you Beeman fights on the 24th. Make sure y'all tap in on my boy's fight. Salute to my boy. Get that W, get that bag. Shout out to Syndicate Radio. Dino, you've been missing. I told you, tap into the Saturday video. You can do whatever you want with it. Sunday, I'm too exhausted from the games. I am doing no videos on Sundays. And last but not least, shout out to the Graveyard Bullies, security. I missed you guys already. You know I'm going to visit y'all. I'm going to come through and show love. But it was time for me to move on and get out that graveyard shit, because that shit was killing me, man. And with that, let me slide my boy Sportsbook Jeff in the picture. Hopefully us big guys, you can see both of us clearly. Last week we did all right, man. On games to watch, we kind of cleaned it. Now we got to fix up the Friday thing. You doing your part, but we all got to kind of do our part a little more. So this week, so far, so good. Would you agree?
I agree.
So we just got to keep it rolling. So what we're going to do, Big Jeff, we're going to pick 5 games like we did last week. We're going to break it down as much as possible to the peoples, give them as much as inside as needed, and then give them a lean.
All right.
We're going to start with one of your favorite games tomorrow, the Miami Dolphins, the traveling to Baltimore, Lamar Jackson and company. My question to you is, what does Miami have to do to win? And then the same question with the Ravens. Talk to them.
Well, I think tomorrow, from Miami's perspective, protecting Tui is going to probably be the most important thing they can do in this game. Armstead's likely not going to play. The big tackle, all-pro tackle, came over from New Orleans. Right. So they're going to have to probably slide the tight end in and chip block, on some of those ends over there for the Ravens. On the Baltimore side, I think the key is going to be is not turning the ball over. When they played last year down in Miami, when Miami upset Baltimore, turnovers played a big role in that game. The way I look at this game right here is it's really kind of a coming out party possibly from Miami, or is Baltimore retaking over the AFC North?
Now the line right now is still 4, 3.5. I forgot to mention that in the beginning.
Baltimore -3.5.
Okay, so it's flip-flopping between 3.5 and 4.
And I'm not really in love with the line.
Me either.
I will tell you this. I think the key of this game is it's a revenge game for Baltimore, who's perennially owned Miami.
Okay, but let me ask you something, because I'm going to play devil's advocate. Okay, revenge game. But they own Baltimore. I mean, they own Miami. So how do you know Miami don't feel like we got one? We got a lot of games to catch up to these guys because they've been owing us.
That's the old coach's thing. Being an old ball coach myself.
Right.
When you dominate little brother and he gets one win, the next time you want to put your foot down their throat.
You want to put your foot there, right?
But here's the key is I don't know, next week Miami does play Buffalo in Miami. So I don't know if they could be looking ahead or maybe they're not looking ahead. But that's something to keep in the back of your mind. But I think it'll be a tight game, decided by 7 points or less.
I agree.
I still think that Lamar Jackson finds a way to make one extra play in this game to get the win. The only thing to keep an eye on is both starting corners for the Ravens are questionable. My guess is
Marion Humphrey and Marcus Peters.
Right. My guess is they're both going to play.
Right.
But if they don't play, that could be an issue with Waddle and with Tyreek Hill.
Right, but they're gonna be kind of injured playing.
Right.
But they're better with them playing injured than the guys they're gonna replace them with. Well, my take is this, Jeff. Tua Tagovailoa has to step up.
Right.
But how he's gonna step up, his offensive line is gonna have to give him time so he can make things happen.
Right.
And if they don't give him time, I'm going to see that Baltimore Raven defense all over him like they was all over Joe Flacco last week.
Right.
Though Viola got more movement to his game than Flacco. But it all depends on how much time he gets. I think Baltimore wins this game. What I don't know if they cover the 4. I know they win the game, though, but we giving leans. Do you agree with me on that move right there?
I think Baltimore wins the game. And again, I'm not comfortable with the cover. Gun to head, I say yes, but I wouldn't go to war with it.
Right. Okay, so that's the lean on the game 1. 5 games to watch. Silverton Casino. We here representing like we always do every Saturday with the games of the week. Game number 2, Sportsbook Jeff. Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville Jaguars. History tells us that the Jaguars always hold their own against the Indianapolis Colts. Why is that? Move it a little bit.
I think a lot of times is Indianapolis is used to humidity down in Jacksonville when they go down there to play. It's part of the problem.
Right.
Like people going to play in Miami. I also think that there's always a team that has your number, and Jacksonville's had the Colts number in Jacksonville. They play them tight in Indianapolis too. I think this situation, though, is different. Even though Michael Pittman, #1 wide receiver for the Colts, is out this game.
Which is big. That's big.
I truly believe this Colts team has a chip on their shoulder from being knocked out of the playoffs last year and how they were embarrassed at the end of the year. I think that, Matt Ryan, if he doesn't turn the ball over, he's not like Matty Ice. I think that they can control the game with Jonathan Taylor. And I'll tell you, here's the big deal, too, a good stat for you guys. Since 2019, teams that open on the road back-to-back, regardless of what they did in Game 1, are 8-0 against the spread. We do have 3 games this week of 3 teams back-to-back that open the season on the road.
Facts.
The Colts being one of them. And I really can't see the Colts, to be honest with you, as a favorite to win the division, playing so poorly at the Texans, and then going and playing poorly at Jacksonville. I have a hard time seeing it. I like the Colts big in this game.
Well, Colts played bad for 3 quarters. Had a terrific 4th quarter. Could have won the game if Blankenship makes that field goal and sends everybody home. But he didn't, so they end up getting a push in that game, which was a tie.
They also missed an extra point.
Yes. That's why they released him. If they could take that 4th quarter momentum into this game here, on top of everything else that you just explained, I think the Colts find a way to prevail.
Yep.
The line is -3 Colts. Open up at 4 if I'm correct, down to 3 now. We both leaning on the Indianapolis Colts for game 2 on games to watch. Jeff, they got to see your face, brother. Okay, game 3 of the games to watch is a game that you really like a lot. And my boy Felix Jacino is going to be really upset with you. It's the New England Patriots going to Heinz Field to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm wondering why the fuck are the Patriots favored by 2 when they got bombed in Miami and Pittsburgh looked like world beaters against Cincinnati. How is this line even possible at the house of Pittsburgh? You explain us.
It's real simple. I mean,
simple?
One, the Steelers are going to play without T.J. Watt.
Right, the best.
So basically, they're losing half their pressure on the quarterback. Number 2, if you remember last year, very similar situation. Pittsburgh game 1 goes into Buffalo.
Tell Buffalo up.
Same spread as they had in Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Yep.
They win the game outright.
Come home against the Raiders.
Everybody jumps on them. The Raiders beat them pretty handily.
Mm-hmm.
I see something similar here with New England. I don't see New England going 2-0 with Baltimore, their nemesis, next week in their home opener. I think that this is a game that New England is going to come out. They're going to play a different style of ball they played in Miami. And they actually, for the most part, New England does well in Pittsburgh. So this is going to be it's a tough start here. It's going to be probably a tight game, a defensive struggle.
You think Belichick's going to take the ball to Mac Jones and try to get a running game going, moving the chain kind of game, or he's going to release Mac Jones and let him just go out there, try to get 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, etc. What kind of game you thinking Belichick is setting up for the young boy?
It's going to be a conservative game plan after the sacks and the interceptions by Burrow last week.
Right.
So, doing the key for the best, special teams, field position, grind out a win. I see a 7 to 10 point New England win here.
Okay. When I first seen this game, without doing any kind of research, I thought Pittsburgh was the play. I mean, you're giving them 2 points at home. They looked like world beaters last week. New England forgot to show up to Miami. But me knowing what I know and Jeff knowing what he knows, you learn what's going on in Vegas. You learn what's going on in Vegas, and you learn that things are funny. Things are funny. And we think this falls right under that situation where it's a funny line. There's no reason you can tell me why the Patriots are favored in this game. I understand Waters out. I get all that. But all their offensive players are there. Everybody else is there. Watts the only got hurt. You can't tell me he's 50% of the football team, because he's not. He's one great player. I get it. Now, if it was a big quarterback and he goes down, different scenario. But not a defensive player. I mean, I know he's all that, but still.
Belichick's going to take the running game away from Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be more Bill stopping what they do. Anything else you want to say?
No, I just say this game has sucker bet written all over it. And I'll also tell you, it's one of those back-to-back to start the year on the road. 8-0. That's another reason to back New England.
So we like New England on this, even though the line is telling us Pittsburgh. But trust us, we leaning on New England to cover the 2 points. But you know what? If they win by 1, these are lean bets. Remember, I don't want to confuse y'all. So if they win 1-1, we just saying that they're going to win the game. Let's go to game 4, Jeff. Let's go to who that. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. We don't know if Jameis Winston is playing. He's questionable. You thinking he's going to get himself in there, figure out a way to get this game in.
Right.
There's a lot of injuries on both sides of the board, Jeff. My thing is, Tom Brady's still out there. So I don't care who's injured. Especially if both sides are injured. But from my understanding, let me give you a few names. Julio Jones is questionable. And
Godwin's out.
They got Donovan Smith, offensive tackle. Tristan Wills, offensive tackle. Brashard Perryman, wide receiver. And Godwin also
Evans
is
is questionable too.
Look at that. So, I mean, they deep.
But the New Orleans side, Kamara.
They deep, yeah, but New Orleans, there's Kamara, all them other guys, Ingram, Winston might not play. So, we didn't put this game on our top 5, but we did put it on right now on games to watch. So, we're thinking, I'm leaning Bucks with all the injuries. I think Tom Brady makes the difference in this game. What you thinking?
I think, to me, it's very simple. If you look at the schedule of both teams, you have a situation here that basically if Tampa Bay was to lose this game, and they've lost 7 in a row to New Orleans regular season.
Yeah.
Okay. Next week, New Orleans goes to Carolina. And with a win there, they'd be 3-0 and 3-0 in the division. Okay, with the win over Tampa.
And who Tampa got lined
Tampa
up?
plays at home versus Green Bay and Kansas City next 2 games. I can tell you right now, this division may be over if New Orleans wins this game. Okay, to be chasing the whole year, it's a problem. So I think that what it boils down to is it's an ugly game. I think it's defensive. But I think somehow, some way, New Orleans finds a way to win. I mean, not New Orleans, but
you changing
Tampa.
your bet on me?
No, I just said the wrong word. Tampa finds a way to win.
Listen, to his defense, he hasn't slept, been up all night, but we're not making excuses. He knows he said the wrong team, but you know what? You got to give him a little bit because the guy hasn't slept. And I know he meant the Bucks. That's why I joked with him, and he meant the Bucks. We both like the Bucks, so we clearing on the Bucks just to win the game. Now, Jeff, our 5th and final game, it's a Monday night football game where we're going to Philadelphia. There's 2 games on Monday night, but we're going to debate about the one between the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. The line was -2 Eagles, correct?
Yep. It opened 2.5, went down to 2.
Yeah, I'm going to run with Minnesota Vikings. I like how Cousins looks so far. I know it's very early. I get it. But his demeanor looked different. The new coach, the new offensive coordinator, Justin Jefferson can't shut his mouth up. Thielen likes what's happening. It's just like they just got like an electrician like stuck in their bodies where it just woke all of their whole team up and they ready to rumble in that division. I mean, I just seen the game against Green Bay with you and you called that game. I mean, if they can look anything like that throughout the season, they win that division easy. My question to you is that, was that something we just seen and might not see again? Or this is something we got to get accustomed to see?
Well, you got to understand the last couple of years, Minnesota's been the NFC version of the Chargers. You know, losing games by 1 score or less, final minute, bad kicks, you name it, they did it. We also know the record of Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football is 2-9.
Right, hold up. Darnell, we leaning on the Buccaneers that game. We know New Orleans owned them. Too many injuries in that game. But one thing is for sure, Tom Brady's playing, and he knows that they can't beat him. So we leaning on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah.
So I think, to be honest with you, you know, just to throw it out there, I know it's just for this game, but if you want a great futures bet to win the NFC North and a possible team long term, these are two of those teams that could be sleepers in the NFC. But I especially like the Minnesota Vikings. I think they made the changes defensively. They were tired of the Zimmer, with the way he did things.
Like you said it best. He went stale.
He was stale.
He went stale. You can say more better than that, Jeff. And the acquisition of Smith.
Right. And you got to look at the talent offensively. You got maybe the best wide receiver in football. You have maybe the best running back in football.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the quarterback that everybody's sleeping on.
And the line's going to be the key. They got a lot of number 1 picks in that line. So, I mean, Kirk Cousins, what it boils down to, and I'll be honest with you, Kirk Cousins had a great year last year. I mean, everybody wants to criticize Kirk Cousins. This guy here's a top 5-10 quarterback in this league. We're going to realize that he just hasn't won the big one.
That's what it is. It's not that they criticizing his stats production, Jeff. It's that he comes up small in the biggest games, kind of like Dak Prescott. But I got him over Dak.
Right.
They try to call him, they call Dak the black Kirk Cousins. No. He's the black Tony Romo. But I think Kirk Cousins is better than both of them.
But it's not Kirk Cousins' fault that the kicker missed a damn field goal.
No, but I experienced games where he came up short on big games.
Right.
Not just that. I experienced multiple games. It's out there that he comes up small. But I think that's behind him is what I'm saying.
I mean, who knows?
I think that's behind him.
We might have the 0-4 team to the Super Bowl this year. Buffalo, Minnesota, you never know.
That's 5 games to watch. Sportsbook Jeff, Alyork Sports, straight out to Silverton, live from Las Vegas. Like I said, guys, shout out to Price Tag Entertainment. Dwayne Beeman, his fight is coming up soon. Sportsbook Jeff kicking ass on my show. I'm doing my thing. And also, I'm going to keep this on the low. We're going to come out with the Heaven and Hell, my reality video. Let me show you the individual right here. My man, Paul. I'm going to interview Paul right here. He's going to say what's up to y'all. Let's give him love. Give him love, Paul.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Paul. Las Vegas, Heaven and Hell coming soon.
You already know, my brother. Yo, we going to get him, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, we going to do that Heaven and Hell reality. That ain't going to be nothing about sport. That's going to be about life. Yeah, we going to talk that life shit also, but we going to keep it sports. Y'all keep your head up. Alyork Sports, like I said, tune in every Friday. Get your free picks, open sessions, and giveaways. The more the merrier, bringing people for the giveaways. We going to give y'all nothing but the raw truth to help you guard 100.